Warning. This podcast may contain spoilers from whatever TV show or movie is mentioned. Please listen at your own discretion. Welcome to Viewers Anonymous.
What's going on? I am Scoots Bronson.
And I am S. Foster.
And this is the Viewers Anonymous podcast. What's going on with you, bro?
Another day, another dollar they call it, in some cases a nickel, but your boy's making it. I'm good, you know what I'm saying? Just very, very ready to get this pod started, man. But how about you, man? How you feeling?
I cannot complain, man. I am A-OK. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying life. Ready to get this pod started as well, my guy.
A-OK. Man, I haven't heard it since I was in high school.
What? A-OK?
A-OK.
That's hilarious.
That's what's up, man. That's good, man.
Yeah,
Yo,
man.
When I tell you it's been an interesting couple of days, man. We put out 13 Ghost Friday.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Put out Halloween Kills Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And
bonus
episode, you know what I'm saying? We don't know if people listen to it yet because some people might not have seen it, or some people might not care, or some people might be holding it off because they didn't watch it initially. But the reason I bring it up, I was wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you what I was wrong about.
What's that?
Now let me see, I think I seen it Sunday, so I don't know what it is now. But I said that I believe that one of the reasons they put it on Peacock was because they wasn't expecting to get, you know what I'm saying, a huge start.
Oh, yeah, they did, 50 mil, didn't
they? They did 50 mil, my guy. And I was so wrong, man.
To me, I think that, you know what I'm saying, when they release it, they do it the right way because, you know what I'm saying, with it being Halloween, they always try to release them around, you know what I'm saying, Halloween or somewhere in October. So, you know what I'm saying, people are in that, you know what I'm saying, festive Halloween mood. So, you know, they definitely going to want to go see it. And then I can only imagine just how many people, you know what I'm saying, watched it on Peacock as well. So I'm sure that they got some type of cut out of subscriptions on that. A lot of people that I know of watched it on Peacock. And that was really like the main thing everybody was talking about all weekend. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
Yeah, I like I told you before, I follow a lot of horror things, and I've seen people talking about it in the comments, and people was like, I watched it on both. Like I went to the movies and I watched it on Peacock. So you know what I'm saying? I was throwing the link around like candy, but every Halloween thing I seen, but I threw the link in there. So
yeah.
But yeah, man, I just wanted to say that I was wrong, man. That made 50 mil over the weekend, but like you said. And like I just mentioned, some people watched it in the theater and like, yo, I want to watch it again. And, you can watch it on Peacock. So they winning out here in these streets, man. They made a good decision. They did really good. If y'all want to hear the thoughts that we had on that, you can go back, check out that bonus episode that we put out, which I thought was a good episode, man. I can't, listen. I had to use that shit as a clip, boy. When you was talking about Big John and Little John.
That shit is hilarious, man. I told you that was the funniest part of the movie to me, man.
Hey, but and it was so funny because I seen in one of the comments where somebody had said that, they was like, do you like this movie or what you rated or whatever. And then I seen like the very, how they'll show you one comment and before you click in it. And it was a black girl that said Little John and Big John. Like it was think about you, but yeah. I was like, yo, I bet you that was the shit that, hey, I mean, look, let's be honest. Black people, we found that shit hilarious.
Hilarious. The funniest part though, and because somebody was talking about it, and I was like, the funniest part ain't the fact that they gay. Like, nobody care about that. It's the fact that both of these niggas' names is John.
Yeah.
And one decided to be Big John, the other one decided to be Little John. But they call each other that though. That's what make it funny. Because like they don't be like, hey John, come here. No, they literally say, hey, Little John, come here. Hey, Big John. Like that's funny to me.
Yeah, because they don't have to.
At all,
Because
bro.
it's
There's no
not
need
like,
for that.
dude, listen to me. Every holiday we get together on my mom's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
I got a girl cousin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her first name is Tameka, but her middle name is Lil Sean. But
Mm-hmm.
everybody call her Sean.
Right.
So every time we're together, they gotta say girl Sean or boy Sean.
That's funny. That's what I'm saying. That's hilarious.
So that's what I forgot to say that the other day, but that's
Mm-hmm.
what they do. They'll be like Sean, and then we'll both turn around. They'll be like girl Sean,
Mm-hmm.
and then like that's how it's been like that for years, dude. Because she
That's how it
always
is with
went
me and
by
my
her middle
son.
name.
So we go through
You
that
bit
too.
mark.
Yeah. Yeah. So we definitely go through that too. Like somebody calls, we both be like, huh? So yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I
For
didn't want
sure.
to do that. Did I tell you that, man? Did I tell you that story?
Mm-mm.
I didn't want my son. I didn't want my son to have my name. Like, so
Really?
when yeah, like, cause this is the thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
obviously you see the way my name is spelled.
Right.
It's been a problem all my life.
Mm-hmm.
People never pronounce it right, and it's never spelled right.
Mm-hmm.
So, back in the early days, you had to call a pizza in. You know what I'm saying? You get the pizza, you spell your name and you get it, and your name's still wrong. And it's just
Right.
like, so I was like, I don't want my son to have to go through that. So I was like, I don't want my name in his name.
Mm-hmm.
Man, obviously I didn't win that, but you know what I'm saying? But his name is Tayshawn. So
Oh,
like
okay.
we always call him Tay. So
Yeah.
instead of him being a junior, like the Tay is his junior because he got my middle name and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So he basically got my whole name, but with Tay in front of it.
Right.
But like, dude, I did not want it. I was like, man, he gonna have problems all his life. He gonna be mad that his name is spelled this way because nobody never. I'm starting to see it more often though. More
Mm-hmm.
people are starting to spell it that way. But while I'm on that, I was just telling somebody about this today, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in 8th grade, I was on the JV football team, right? So the JV is basically like back then juniors could play.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like basically sophomores and juniors.
Okay.
So I played JV in the 8th grade. So coach called me, Coach Holcomb, I never forget this. Coach Holcomb called me in the office and he was like, it was the playoffs. So JV season is over because
Mm-hmm.
varsity going into the playoffs. So he was like, he said, I'm gonna dress you for varsity. So I was like, what, for real? And he was like, yeah. I was like, you could do that? He was like, yeah, I could do that. I'm the head coach. I was like, you do know I'm in the 8th grade, right? He was like, you in the 8th grade? I was like, yeah. He's like, I had no idea. So he was like, let me take your name down. He said, what's your name? So I was like, Sean Foster. So he writes SHAWN.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, well, actually, coach, it's SHUN.
Mm-hmm.
And this man looked at me, never forget it, Coach Stuart Holcomb. He's a great Hall of Fame coach. He looked up at me and said, by the time you leave this place, everybody's gonna know how to spell your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what made me always think of Coach Hogan, because he like once that next year came, he stepped down and another coach became head coach.
Oh, okay.
So my very first letter that I got, just little, the little, letters that, hey, we see you type of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Wake Forest. And they spelled my name right. And I
That's
will
what's up.
always think of Coach Holcomb. I was like, he told me they were gonna know how to spell my name.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah, man, that was dope, man. That was the days. But we got I got on the rant. I'm sorry, people. I'm sorry, people. We're gonna give you what you came here for, man. My bad. Just in the days, right there. Just in the days.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, you
So
gonna?
yeah,
Oh, go
man.
ahead.
You know what I'm saying? We continue in the Fright Fest. You know what I'm saying? If this is your first time listening to the podcast, we're doing something new this year. We're getting into the festive month of October. We're getting into our Halloween vibes, man. We're doing a Fright Fest. That's right. We're reviewing only horror movies and only movies of the horror genre. This is number 6. Thank you, sir, for giving me that because I honestly didn't know. I was going on a limb. I was about to throw a number out there, but I appreciate you. But yeah, this is episode number 6 of the Fright Fest. This is episode
15.
115 altogether. So we're doing, if you haven't seen already by the title, we're doing it chapter 1 and 2. That's right, the newer versions, not the older ones, the ones that just recently came out. So we can go ahead and just do both of them. Ain't no point in splitting it up. We could just talk about it. You know what I'm saying? As it is. Real quick, man. This movie is about a demon clown who basically feeds off of the fears of young children. And a group of kids. I guess you can say they ended up being friends because I don't think a lot of them was friends at first. But they ended up being friends because of Bill's little brother, who got kidnapped by the clown Pennywise. I was about to call him it. I don't know why I was about to call him it, but he basically got kidnapped by the clown Pennywise, who is the monster in both movies. So that's a quick synopsis. What did you think of Pennywise in this version of it, or these two versions of it? Because
okay,
real quick. The first one was Tim Curry. You know what I'm saying? He was the original. He was the original person or the original actor who did Pennywise, and then Bill Skarsgård is revamped. He revamped the role. He's the brother of Alexander Skarsgård and the son of Stellan Skarsgård. You might know Stellan Skarsgård from the MCU, Thor. You know what I'm saying? Alexander Skarsgård was Tarzan. And then, you know what I'm saying, Bill carrying the mantle of the family, continuing acting. So what do you think of the job he did?
Before I'm gonna answer your question, but before we get there, the casting on both of these phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
This is probably the best casting I've ever seen in a movie that like everybody looked like everybody. That's the crazy part. But I say that to say this. There's a picture going around, which you might have seen it, of Bill Curry and this guy side by side back when he played it in 1990. When he was young, they look just alike.
As
it's so weird. No, them. There's a picture of them.
Bill Skarsgård and Tim Curry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tim Curry. There's a picture of him when
I've seen the similarities.
Why they're very similar, dude. It is crazy, but I think he did a phenomenal job, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like the first even though it came out in 1990, like I mean, obviously I didn't see it when I was 5, but I mean I probably saw it, you know what I'm saying, pretty early though, probably around 10-ish, 11, whatever. And I mean, it gives you that little fear of clowns. But I mean, I really kind of never fucked with clowns anyway because I always thought it was kind of weird.
Really?
Until the Crumpin' Clown came around. That was different. Hilarious. That was the guy though.
That's hilarious.
You remember that? The dude,
Tommy the Crumpin' Clown.
Yeah.
That was on. They did that movie Rise.
Yeah. I fucked with him. But nah, it ain't that. It's just the fact of I always thought it was weird for a dude to dress up and get in front of kids and do games. Like I don't know. I just always thought it was weird. But this one was way more scary. And you know how we always talk about the thing that's scary about scary movies is a lot of times is putting yourself in that person's or in the shoes of the situation of what's happening. Dude, this is way more scarier than even we talked about this with the Blair Witch Project. Like that last scene, like the last 15 seconds of that movie is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. But this right here, these two, because he feeds off your worst fear. Like he knows everything that you fear and he times that shit by 10. Hey, boy, I ain't even gonna lie, boy. Like that. I ain't with it. Like I'm not. Yo, it's like I can see why Stanley did what he did because to go through what they went through and to go through what Eddie went through The second, because the thing is, Eddie got the worst treatment out of everything, and he was the scaredest.
Yeah.
And it's like that's like your worst fear. But anyway, I'm jumping. I think the dude, I think he did a great job playing it, man. Tim was more. I don't know. Like I don't think that one was as vicious as far as I can remember,
Right.
because I haven't seen it in a long time. But this one, it's just like I was about to say something, but you give me your thoughts, because I got something on my brain I need to get out. So what did you think of his performance of playing it, Pennywise, this time around?
I think he did a great job playing Pennywise. I think he had an advantage though, because you know what I'm saying, now with all the CGI and the graphics that they can use, the technology has upgraded. So, you know what I'm saying, it's a lot more that you can do when you're doing a movie like this, especially him being Pennywise. You know what I'm saying? Like now they can make him grow and be a tarantula, or you know what I'm saying, he can turn into, you know what I'm saying, a wolf or whatever they want him to, you know what I'm saying, do, as he's trying to create that fear for so he can eat the kid or whatever. Like I think that's his advantage. So to me, that's what makes it better. I think Tim Curry though, just on like the creepiness factor, I think he did a way better job at being creepy. I feel like this Pennywise was like if they did the Joker in a horror form, that's what this Pennywise would be. But if they really wanted to have that scare factor, I think that it'd be Tim Curry's version for sure.
I feel you. I'm not mad at that. I think both of them did a really good job, man. And I said this on the coming soon is like this is definitely in my eyes, you know, just my opinion.
Yeah.
What's my man? Stephen King's best movie that turned into a book. I can't say a book because I personally I never read none of his books.
Right.
But everything that's turned into a movie, this is the best one. And this is one of the best remakes I've ever seen. Like this is going, you know, I mean, the thing about remakes is the fact that there's so many out there, and there's so many movies that you don't know that they're remakes. Like Scarface, a lot of people don't know that's a remake. You know what I'm saying? Even Zodiac was a remake.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about it, that was one that was done 2 years earlier, because there was one that came out in 2005 with Robert Turney. But anyway, just the opening scene, dude. This is when I knew this movie was different. I knew it was different when Georgie was out chasing a boat, goes down the drain. So Pennywise is in there, you know what I'm saying? And then the thing about Pennywise is like he knows everything about you right off rip. He knows your name, he knows your family, he knows what you fear, all that shit. And like, cause he said, you know, he was like, Bill's gonna kill me. And he was like, when he was trying to give him the boat back, he was like, remember, Bill's gonna kill you. You know what I mean? And it's like when you're a kid, you know, Georgie did what kids would do. I mean, we all would have done that, even though we thought like and he asked all the right questions, like what are you doing in the drain? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why are you down there? Like that don't make sense. And then he tried to give him the boat, and dude, when he took his arm off, my guy, that's when I knew this movie was different. I was like, this ain't the 1990 version.
Yeah.
Like kids are getting the business in this. The kids are getting work in this movie.
Yeah.
You don't see that really. Like it's usually like if a kid get killed like in a horror movie type of thing,
they don't really show it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like they show you, and then he's crawling with one arm, and you just see like
you can see the blood coming out in the rain and all that. Yeah, like
man, the desperation. Like you see the desperation in the kid's face. That's just different. And then when he pulled him back down there, yo, I knew this movie was different.
Well,
like,
I think they had a leg up on the on making this movie the way it was because of the success of Stranger Things. I know a lot of people when this had came out, a lot of people were making that comparison. And even though, you know what I'm saying, this is a remake, so it's not really so much a comparison. Um and you know what I'm saying, Stranger Things kind of took a little bit from, you know what I'm saying, pretty much every kind of horror drama. I mean not horror drama, horror from every movie out of the horror genre. Especially, you know what I'm saying, with the Demigorgons, and you know what I'm saying, it had the it, no pun intended, it had the it factor with all the kids and everything like that. So I mean, like they definitely had a little mix of everything, and then with it being in the 80s and you know what I'm saying, so many other different things. I think that they definitely got inspired by Stranger Things only because when you watch the first one, it gives you that kind of vibe. It has that dull look to it, you know what I'm saying, that small town feel. Um, you know what I'm saying? It's like back in the day. I think even one of the actors from Stranger Things was even in this movie. I forgot what the kid's name is.
Yep, the kid with the glasses.
Yeah.
Flynn Wolfhard.
Yeah. Him. You know what I'm saying? He played who did he played Mike in Stranger Things. So you know what I'm saying? Like just the fact that, you know what I'm saying, they had that, you know what I'm saying, comparison, I think that gave people and then especially around the time it came out, because you know what I'm saying, Stranger Things had just ended, people were binge watching it. This was something that they can go to and still kind of get that same feel, but at the same time, they got something way more. I think they got something way more worth it. You know what I'm saying, with it than they got with Stranger Things, because in Stranger Things they weren't getting that gore factor, they weren't getting that frightening factor that they would have got with it, only because you know what I'm saying, Stranger Things was a show, so it was kind of building up to that point. With it had those points throughout the movie.
And first off, Richie, hilarious.
Yeah.
The timing that he has, phenomenal. Stranger Things. Now, this is S. Foster talking here. Top 3 Netflix show, debate me. I said Stranger Things, top 3 Netflix show, debate me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It is all about the hype. This is one of the shows where, like, I didn't let the hype get me. Like, cause sometimes I hear a lot of hype, and I be like, man, it ain't that damn good. I ain't watching that shit. This shit right here deserves all the hype that it got. How anticipated it is for it to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be coming back soon. I think it's next year, beginning of next year, or something like that. It's supposed to be coming out real soon. Yo, great show. So I got a question for you. Now, okay. I mentioned it, but I just want to hear your thoughts on this. Dude, the casting, man.
Yeah.
For everybody to, and I know a lot of it was because they pretty much kept everybody with the same haircut, same hairstyle, basically. So that helped a lot. But for them to, for me, in my eyes, to nail the casting the way that they did, for everybody to look like their younger selves, for everybody to have the same demeanor that they had when they was kids. Like, how did you feel about how they casted this movie? The younger, when them as 13-year-olds and them as adults.
I think it was spot on. Not only was it spot on as far as the way that they look, but even the personality of the characters as well. I think that the actors in Chapter 2 did a great job of capturing, you know what I'm saying, the personalities of each kid. And that's a hard thing to do. That's not something that can easily be done. But for them to, you know what I'm saying, not only find people that actually look like each character, but to also, you know what I'm saying, be able to transform those younger personalities into older personalities now is, you know what I'm saying, that's something that's a little bit different. And I think that they did a great job doing that. Excuse me. Also in Chapter 2, I think once again, Bill Skarsgård, he did a great job with Pennywise, because this one he had a little bit more room to actually act. And then, you know what I'm saying, with him actually being able to get a little bit more physical in this one too, I think he did a great job with that, especially the ending where they all actually had to, you know what I'm saying, give it a go and give him some work. I think that was a good one.
Man, listen, but the way he got that little girl up under the stands
Mm-hmm.
that had the mark on her face,
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, but they're not playing, man.
Nah.
Like I mean, you know, how do you see a little white girl just get done in like that, man? Like you don't see that,
I
man.
mean, it's not often, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, you get close to it in the old slashers, but that's even then, that's not to the extent that these are.
Dude, crazy. But yeah, I think they nailed it, man. And for them to get everybody's background, like just the way that they introduced everybody when they was adults, I
Mm-hmm.
thought that was dope too.
Mm-hmm.
And for them to be living their regular lives and they're fine, but then when they go back to dairy, everything changes. Like they are
Right.
the same people that they were when they was kids. They were similar, but you know they didn't have those memories that
Mm-hmm.
they had back in dairy. I thought that was dope to put in there. But like I said, this is a book, so I mean, all this the storyline is the storyline. Like I don't
Yeah.
think they changed anything from it.
Oh, they changed a
But
lot.
oh yeah, because I
Hey,
didn't read
the
the book.
book is vulgar.
Oh, so it's a whole lot more vote.
Man, there's some shit in that book, boy. You'll be reading, you'll be like, "What the fuck is this? This ain't supposed to be written down nowhere." Yeah, that book is vulgar, bro. No bullshit. That book is on something different. So I appreciated the adaptation and you know what I'm saying, them cutting out a few parts because there's some shit in there that ain't supposed to be in there.
Dude, listen. I thought that to the way that look, first of all, we got to get this out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise is probably the most best person at number one time management. Okay,
Okay, you got to break
but
that down. You got to break that one
listen,
down. Time management. What are we talking about?
multitasking.
Right.
Yo, for him to be able to set everybody up the way that he set them up at the same when they was in the house,
Mm-hmm.
it's only one of him.
Right.
He's finding a way to set all of them up. I'm gonna start scaring this one, and I'm saying I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna fuck this one up, and I'm setting up the next one. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna be there in a minute. I got you in a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
let me handle Bill over here, and then I'm gonna come get Eddie over here and say I'm gonna set Eddie up. Yo, the way that he was able to do that shit and to have all these people like scared all at the same time, and it's the shit that they scared of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, being in that moment, like, I don't even really know. Like for me, like I don't know, cause look, I've been just submerged, like in horror shit. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of like those tactics wouldn't like scare me from watching it. But if I'm there, dude, that shit was different.
Yeah, that's something totally different.
Yo, when they turn Eddie into that spider, my God,
Oh man.
and he jumped on Richie's head, dude, I'm having a heart attack right there.
Off the
Like
spider run, you got
I'm dead,
arachnophobia?
I'm dead on the floor. You hear me?
Wow.
Like, and then all that shit coming out the mouth,
Yeah.
like all that slimy. I'm not good with slimy shit, man. I'm not
Oh
good with
man. I
slimy shit.
mean, but see, this is and that's what I'm saying. Like that goes just to the point to what I was talking about earlier, man, with the CGI and the graphics that you can use now. Like they couldn't get that off in 70 something, 80 something. Like that's not going down. You know what I'm saying? Like even if it did, it's not gonna look as clean as it did, you know what I'm saying, in the newer versions. The fact that they was able to, you know what I'm saying, turn somebody into a spider or, you know what I'm saying, even at the end of the joint when Pennywise was all big and they was fighting him off, or, you know what I'm saying, like even the way like his eyes, you know what I mean, like him
Was
doing
different
his
colors
eyes.
and turning, yeah.
Yeah, like and that's another thing too. You know, like when he was moving his eye the opposite way, you know, that's actually him doing it.
Oh, that's dope. So he
Yeah,
was just
like
doing it with contacts.
he was literally just doing that. He just used the context to color his eyes. But I mean, just even that, like even the, you know what I'm saying, like even just the way that he's moving and the way he's talking to him, like it just to me, man, it's just something about these newer ones that just got a totally different creepy factor.
Dude, listen. Eddie got it the worst, man. Like Eddie was that when Eddie went to the pharmacy, right? When he was an adult, he went to get his prescription. First of all, let's get this out the way. That pharmacist is a fucking creep. All right. He is a creep. Everybody in this town that are adults are creeps because Bev's dad obviously had a sexual attraction to his own daughter.
Man, that's crazy.
Okay, that's one thing. Then when Beverly was trying to help them steal the shit, you know, and she took his glasses or whatever, and like he was flirting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was trying to give Bev. He was trying to give a 13-year-old the business. So it's like, look.
Hey, listen, that book. Yeah, trust me, it's some shit that go. I told you that book. It's some shit to go down in there. You be like, oh, the movie ain't shit.
Oh shit! Man, maybe I need to jump on
crazy. No, don't read it. Trust me. Save yourself the time.
So Eddie, and then he do the old trick of, you know what I'm saying, what's that on your face? And then he started pitching at his face, and then you see him licking his tongue out, and he's like, oh, that was disgusting. Like he was like licking around his lips and shit. So anyway, so Eddie started hearing his mom. You know, Eddie always had this fear of his mom. Like his mom was creepy. She pulled that
she was so overbearing, man. Golly. That boy was so sheltered, bro. Then he had a fanny pack or some shit at one point, man.
He did, and because she gave him all these medicine. You know what? It reminded me of what's it? Epsy. Is that what the name was? Gypsy. Gypsy. What's that girl name from the Act? You ever seen the Act on Hulu? You remember that girl who mom was They made a TV series. They made a limited series on Hulu called The Act. It was Patricia Arquette. She was in it, and the girl that plays Grace Chloe. What's her name? Chloe something. She played the new Carrie.
Is that the joint that where she was making her believe she was sick so she wouldn't leave the house? Yeah,
exactly. That shit. Yeah. That's what she was doing to Eddie. Had him take a placebo thinking he fucking sick.
Yeah.
And he wasn't sick at all. And I wonder, was that just a fact of she knew what was going on in the town?
Nah, I think that's.
Or you think she was just overbearing?
Yeah, I think it's overbearing. I think what this movie shows, especially, you know what I'm saying, with the way the storyline is that all of these kids really are going through their own shit in life, right? Like even with Bill, like he had beef with the fact that Georgie was getting all the attention and everything else, and he kind of felt ignored. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying, Bev was going through, you know what I'm saying, the shit that she was going through at home with her dad. You know what I'm saying? Richie, it seemed like his parents didn't even know what the fuck he was too old for his goddamn age, bro. Like he was way too old for his age. Like that nigga shouldn't have been hanging around none of them. He was doing shit he wasn't even supposed to be knowing and doing. And then like Eddie, you know what I'm saying, with having an overbearing mom, like he was sheltered for real. To me, he was like, you know what I'm saying, the kid that he wanted to go do things, but he knew how his mom would feel if he went to go do some shit. He knew that she wasn't really having it. So it was like each of these kids had the, you know what I'm saying, had something that they was going through. They had their own little situation. And so
let's not forget, now hold on, before you finish your point, let's not forget Mike was dealing with the fact that his parents burnt in a fire and they both was crackheads. So he had to go stay with his grandfather.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's something that made he had to mature a little bit faster now, because now he really, I mean, even though he had his grandfather, he was really dependent on himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Ben, the new kid, just moves in. Yeah, the fat boy. Nobody want to hang out with the fat boy. So, you know, he was going through his shit. And then Stanley, you know, I think his thing was just the fact of he could never live up to what his dad wanted him to be. I think his dad wanted him to be the straight Jewish kid that was straight up suited and booted and all this type of shit. And I think that he felt that he could never get to like the level that his dad wanted him to be. Exactly. I feel like. I mean, so I mean that was just my interpretation. But okay,
And I had messed up. I said that Mike was a little bit older. I was talking about Richie. I didn't mean Mike. Mike was the little black kid. But he was the one that was, like, you know what I'm saying, him having to deal with that, like, you know what I'm saying, having to live with his grandfather, no longer having his parents around. So, they all have their own separate different traumas, and somehow in one way or another, they all come together and end up being friends. And this is a situation that actually brings them together, and they create this pact to really, you know what I'm saying, like, be friends for life. So now that all of them coming together, and then they all have their own different fears, you understand why Pennywise is, you know what I'm saying, guided to this spot in the in the movie, because he has all these kids he can come get that it's easy to scare him. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to scare Eddie, as long as, you know what I'm saying, like you said, he bringing his mom up. So now he has to, you know what I'm saying, he's having anxiety, and he's thinking that he has this sickness, or he think that he got asthma or some shit like that. And then with Richie, you know what I'm saying, he was kind of the toughest one to get, but he still found a way, you know what I'm saying, to get to him. So with everybody, he knew how to attack them, you know what I'm saying, based on their traumas and their fears, because they all had a specific thing that they were going through.
Yeah, you're right. And to finish that point, so Eddie hears his mom in the back of the pharmacy. So he goes back there. That's another thing. The when everybody had to get their little token thing or whatever, those was like one of the scariest parts of the movie.
Yeah.
And he had the worst one. Eddie had the worst fucking fear, dude. So he goes down and his mom is strapped up to this thing. And so he's trying to get his mom off of this thing. And he start hearing this person like banging through this door, but they was on a chain, and they came out. At first, I thought that person was disgusting, nasty. And so anyway, they come face to face. He's holding it by the neck, and I think that he started to feel good about himself, because he's like, "Yo, I'm actually holding them off. Like they can't get to me." And my guy, when that motherfucker threw up on him, that's cardiac arrest, man. I'm on the floor, like, for asthma. I just developed asthma, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. And then when Beverly went back to her old house, and that old lady, you know what I'm saying, transformed to the bag lady with the big titties, just falling all over the place.
Yeah,
this shit looked like sandbags, man. That was terrible. That lady looked like the lady in what was that movie called? Was it Legion? I think it was Legion.
With the demons.
Yeah, you remember when they was at the diner and the old lady was crawling? Yeah.
But not like
that remind me of.
But this is, to me, this is another one of them things, man. Like having to deal with the you know what I'm saying, like having to deal with each one of those traumas, as you know what I'm saying, Pennywise is even getting at them like that, like the way that he would turn that into their own little fears, you know what I'm saying, something that they would definitely be scared of, something that he knew he can get them with. To me, that was fire, bro.
I like just the setup to everything, for everybody to use like their own fears to keep pinning Bill against himself. Like, yo, can you imagine shooting your 13-year-old self? That is, man, yo, I don't even know if I would have been able to even pull that off, because when he went back into his, you know, he was in the basement of his original house, and he see his 13-year-old self, Bill, talking to his little brother Georgie, and Georgie's blaming him because he wasn't sick that day. He just didn't want to go out and play with him. But he had the sense of mind to know that, yo, like, I'm me. Like, you ain't me, I'm me. And but to still to look at yourself and get one of those damn guns and shoot yourself in the forehead, yo, but it takes a lot of courage. But I'm like, man, yo, like, is this shit gonna affect me too? Like, if I shoot you, is it gonna go in my head too because you're me? Like, yo,
he didn't even think about that part.
That's what I'm saying. Like, see, that's why I say sometimes I be overthinking shit, because I'll be like, yo, if I shoot my 13-year-old self, like, is it gonna affect me? Like,
but I think that was the realization of, and this is moving into, you know what I'm saying, even them as adults as well. I think that was the realization of this is all based on fear. Because after a while, they started to realize like the more scared we are, the more he get at us. So I think once that they start realizing that, you know what I'm saying, at the end, you know what I'm saying, they kind of slightly defeated him, and then they was able to move on with their lives. And then once they got older and they finally came back, he tried to come back to get them, but you know what I'm saying, with certain ones, you could tell that it wasn't the fact that they got over the fear, it was the fact that they were coping with the fear. So like, you know what I'm saying, one of them was like an alcoholic, the other one was doing drugs, you know what I'm saying, like the other one was faking success and everything like that. So like they all went on their way as they got older and tried to find something to cope with that, you know what I'm saying, that trauma.
Well, I don't know. All right, so let's break this down for a second. So
Okay.
Beverly,
Mm-hmm.
she basically the same person. Well, first off, we don't know what she does.
Right.
They didn't really say what she did, but she fell into some money, but she basically married her dad.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, she married her dad. So that was the trauma she was dealing with.
Yeah.
Bill becomes a writer, a
Right.
successful writer, but I think the reason why he could never make in their eyes a great ending to a book is because I think that chapter of his life
Yeah.
never was ended. So he was just terrible at endings. Like he was great at making a story, but he was terrible at making an ending.
Mm-hmm.
Richie, are we really surprised he became a comedian?
Fuck no.
Because he was funny as hell as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Mike,
Mm-hmm.
the trauma of not being able to get over his parents,
Mm-hmm.
you know, he just got stuck in the town. Mike
Yeah.
just couldn't leave. You know what I'm saying? He was so obsessed with it, he couldn't leave.
Right.
So Stanley, we don't know what it don't really tell us what Stanley did, but it's like he
Mm-hmm.
was doing okay in life. But Stanley was so like once he got that phone call from Mike, like he just became younger Stanley again. And like the way he put it, took himself off the board. He couldn't take it.
Right.
Eddie, are we really surprised he became a person that worked in insurance about risk? Like,
Nope.
like just the way he was about everything, man. He was a
Yeah.
germaphobe, like he was
Yeah.
all that shit. So for him to have that job is funny. Now,
Mm-hmm.
for Ben to end up being a successful architect, you know, he built that clubhouse
Yep.
underground. So that's not really that surprising that he became a architect. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what became surprising is the fact that he lost all the weight, turned into this hunk of a man or whatever the hell you want to call him.
Right.
So like that was really like the breakdown of like everybody. But like once they got back to the town, they became their original selves.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got a beef with the ending of the movie,
Okay.
and I'm glad I got you because I'm really anxious to hear what your answer is gonna be.
Okay.
So when they was kids, it looked like Ben and Beverly was gonna be that couple.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, shit happened. Everybody moved away. Everybody got married, type shit. So they come back together. They chemistry kicked back up again.
Right.
Now, Ben always liked her as a kid. Like ever
Facts.
since the first time he saw her, she signed the yearbook. He was donezo.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, she didn't look at Ben that way. Even though Ben, she figured out that was Ben who sent the secret admirer letter, all that type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Still didn't fuck with Ben. Now Ben come back. Ben is buff.
Yeah.
Belly's gone.
Yeah.
Successful.
Yeah.
Now you want to fuck with me?
Hey man, Mike Jones said it best, man. Back then they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me, man. My man Ben turned into that boy turned into a Macy's model, man.
Man, he turned into your boy. Damn, Aquaman. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he turned into Jason Momoa all of a sudden, man.
Sure,
But this
bro.
is my thing. This is my question though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You said it best. Mike Jones said it best. Back then you didn't want me. Now I'm hot. Y'all on me.
Yeah.
Now I know you've been in love with this girl for 27 years. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't want to fuck with you when you was fat. You know what I'm saying? But now you want me. You giving her a shot. Or you like, look, man, you ain't want me then. I don't want your ass down.
Listen, of course he was gonna give her a shot, man. Me personally, probably not. But him, of course he was gonna give her a shot. He ain't used to being that dude. Like this is I say this, you know what I'm saying, and I've heard this said before and I stole it. So I use this now. You know what I'm saying? I say this all the time. Just because, you know what I'm saying, you come up on some money don't mean that you're gonna be a upgraded version of yourself. You're just gonna be the same person you was before. You just gonna have some money now. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That's all it is. So
there's a lot of
he the
lanes out
same.
there.
He really the same fat dude. He built like Thor now.
And this is the truth, cause there's a rapper. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying no names, and you probably gonna know. So you know what I'm saying? Because if you want to jump on the podcast, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying. But there's a rapper, real big in the game. That's all I'm gonna say.
Mm-hmm.
Real big in the game. But when I look at it from the outside looking in, lame as hell. But the fact is, he one of the best rappers.
He talking
And
about
like
wheelchair Jimmy, man.
man, there's a rapper out there, and I'm
Don't
just
do Jimmy
saying,
like that, man. Don't do
hey,
Jimmy like that, bro.
I ain't saying nothing about no Jimmy. All I'm saying is there's a rapper out there, and it's just like by the things that they do and the way that they dress. Sometimes it's like, yo,
Yeah.
man, it's like you just seem like a lame dude, man.
I
But
don't
like,
I don't think that's I don't okay, so like for me, I don't think that he's lame, bro. Because like a lot of people say that about like Nick Cannon, a lot of people say that about like Bow Wow and all them. I don't think that's what
I
it is.
never said that about them.
No, I'm
Well, I
not
mean,
saying
you
you.
said people, but
Yeah, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying like just in general. Because you know what I'm saying, like a lot of people they be like, oh man, Nick Cannon is corny. It ain't the fact that he's corny, it's just the fact that he's a rapper. Well, when he tries to rap, he's a rapper. And then like y'all label rappers as they supposed to be a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like now a rapper always got to talk about AKs and Glocks and selling cocaine and having bricks and all the jewelry on. But you don't realize like Nick Cannon is richer than like a lot of most of the rappers out there. You know what I'm saying? Like Nick Cannon money is longer than a lot of the rappers out there. And I'm talking about old, young,
oh yeah,
legendary, all that. Like this nigga got money. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing with Bow Wow. That nigga got money. So like when they talking about these dudes and they you know what I'm saying? Like and they saying how corny they is, like Drake. Like this nigga Drake had a lot of money before he, you know what I'm saying, went into rapping. You know what I'm saying? He one of them people that, yeah, he was playing, you know what I'm saying, that role. But then, you know what I'm saying, like as he's gotten older, we've seen a lot of different versions of him. But I think that those are all, you know what I'm saying, his personality, like where he came from and how he was raised, where he grew up, you know what I'm saying? Like those are all different versions of him. So, you know what I'm saying, that those all come into one big, you know what I'm saying, character, one big person. And then we also have to realize at the end of the day, like this isn't really who he is at the end of the day. Like he has to play this character to be, you know what I'm saying, like who he is as an artist. Same thing with Bow Wow, same thing with Nick Cannon, same thing with Drake. Like they have to play that character. They can't really be themselves because if they are themselves, then you know what I'm saying, like you'll realize that dude, you know what I'm saying, dude is a lot cooler than what you may think he is. But I think that in order to be as great of, you know what I'm saying, figures as they are, like they have to be polarizing. And I think that whoever you're talking about, I think it's done intentionally because, you know what I'm saying, him being so polarizing, it makes people look at him like, man, that nigga is lame, or, oh man, this nigga is the dopest, you know what I'm saying? So like, and it's funny because to me, the same thing kind of happened, you know what I'm saying? The same thing kind of happened to Ben. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people thought Ben was lame because you know what I'm saying. Like he didn't really have no personality. But come to find out, Ben was cool as shit. Like Ben risked his life to make sure he saved motherfuckers. And then now that you look at him as he's getting older, he's still that same person. He just now got a little bit more swag to himself.
man, look, I want my chips with the dip. Bring me my dip. I never said it was Drake, man.
I'm
just
just
saying.
being funny.
But yeah, but I just thought like, I mean, yeah, like I knew Ben would have took her, but I'm just saying it's like, yo, I loved you back then. You know what I'm saying? I came up on a little success, and I straightened myself out. I'm like, now you want to give me the time of day? It's like, yo, But I think Ben is the perfect match for her because for the simple fact of like she needs that unconditional love, and like Ben was the one that we're gonna give it to her. Like Bill, I think Bill had it, but I think Bill, I mean, even Bill, like really everybody ended up marrying, except Richie. Like
Mm-hmm.
Eddie, his wife was his mom. His wife
Yeah.
was his mom.
Yeah.
Beverly, her husband was her dad. When it came to Bill, it was just the fact that he married an actress, but like at the same time, like she wasn't being honest with him about like his work. It's
Right.
just like, yo, like tell me the truth. Like, don't tell me. Like, I don't want my girl to be like, oh man, your podcast dope, and you really think it's trash. Like,
Yeah.
like
Exactly.
tell me. Don't tell me it's dope because you my girl. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, be honest. But I just, what I'm saying. I just get with girls that don't listen to podcasts, so it don't even
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it was interesting, like to see the path that everybody took,
Mm-hmm.
and for them to come back and to fight Pennywise the way that they did was kind of wild. But what do you think of Mike not telling everybody the truth about that ritual? About how technically the ritual like was supposed to kill everybody, supposed to send out these branches and kill everybody. Like, what do
Mm-hmm.
you think Mike's what do you think his intention was? Because what if the branches would have came out? Like what was he thinking? Like what do you think he was?
I think that Mike kind of knew what the outcome would be only because they've been through this before. So I think that Mike kind of knew, you know what I'm saying, that they could handle the situation. I don't think his intentions was to get anybody killed. I think it was like, yo, this is something that we got to do, you know what I'm saying, once and for all to get rid of this motherfucker. And even though he knew what the risk was, I feel like if he would have told them the risk, then they would have got killed. You know what I'm saying? But them having to deal with Pennywise and them having to come back and go through all that, I don't think that's something that, you know what I'm saying, he felt like he should have shared with the group. That way it's not any extra fear or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that he knew. I don't know if maybe he left a step out because when Pennywise was like, when they kept asking Mike, did it work? Did it work? He was like, Mike, tell him why it didn't work.
Right.
And I think Mike might have left a step out. And I think he knew it wasn't going to work. But I think the reason that Mike ran with this was to give them something to believe in. Like, I think he knew that the branches never were going to come out because I think that he left something out. And
Could be.
I think that the whole point of I think that he wouldn't have been able to get them to go down there
Mm-hmm.
if they never had anything to look forward to. I think they was all looking forward to doing the ritual just to get them to think that it would work. So
Right.
that was my intention on that. But also what I thought was dope when everybody came together, except, omit Stanley. But I thought that scene at that damn Chinese restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that shit was great. For the table to start doing what it was doing, Richie with the jokes, like yo, when he asked he asked Eddie what he do, and then he started snoring. That shit was fucking hilarious. But when those little things start coming out the fortune cookie,
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
that shit was nuts. And then when they all took the fortunes out and said, I guess Stanley couldn't take it. Well, no, couldn't cut it. Couldn't make no.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley couldn't make the cut. Yo,
Mm-hmm.
Pennywise, that that is a shady dude. But he don't care
Yeah.
about your feelings. Like to say that Stanley couldn't cut it when this dude actually cut himself in the tub.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So, man, I forget what they call it. So Beverly went under, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when she was floating in that shit in the oblivious, she saw the future and she didn't tell them that she
Mm-hmm.
did. Now, when you go back and they actually show it when they were kids, and they asked her like, what happened, when you was under the thing. She was like, I saw the future. And Stanley was the first person to say, did you see me? And like, what about me? Or something like that. And she was like, she made this face like, I kind of saw you dead.
Yeah.
But she didn't say it. She was like, you were taller. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And like when you go back and you see that, it's like, fuck, like to think about what she had to go through, like through those she ended up forgetting. So I don't know how long it was when they started forgetting things.
Right.
But to think like to have this on your brain as like a 13-year-old of the fact that you seen your friend 27 years later kill themselves, that's a tough fucking thing to deal with, dude.
Well, I mean, she was already going through some tough shit. So I mean, that just was just something that added on. You know what I'm saying?
And then
It wasn't like she wasn't mentally tough at that point because I mean, she was already going through, you know what I'm saying, the shit at home. So just to see that was just something that was just thrown in the pile.
so did she kill her dad with that thing, or did he ended up living in? That's the thing. We
I
never got
don't
the
know.
answer
Yeah, that's
of.
what I'm saying. I don't know. It's a lot of questions that need answers in this whole thing.
Yeah, because like they never went back to it. Like we seen him on the ground bleeding, but we don't
Mm-hmm.
know if he just had a concussion and he woke up
Right.
and a little blood loss and he's good. Now we knew that he died. We knew that, but like he probably he could have died from old age. Like we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 27 years, a lot of shit can happen, and that's another. And another thing is like I got questions for the people that live in Derry. Like every 27 years, and then y'all got the history. They
Mm-hmm.
got a book that tell you the history of the town. Every 27 years, kids go missing. Why the fuck you still living in Derry, yo?
I think with something like that, that ends up becoming like a fable thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? How, you know what I'm saying? Like how in certain shows and movies, they'll be like, yeah, or with same thing with the Jeepers Creepers thing. Like every so many years, you know what I'm saying? He comes down and he hunts, and then it starts to just become like this myth of the town or of the area where, you know what I'm saying? Like every 20, you know what I'm saying? Every 21st spring, you know what I'm saying? Jeepers Creepers is coming to collect bodies and, you know what I'm saying? Feed and feast after, you know what I'm saying? A 21-year slumber or whatever. And it's not believed because a lot of people don't get a chance to see it. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, with them saying that kids go missing every 27 years, you know what I'm saying? It's just something that they probably look at as one of the town lores or some shit like that.
Yeah, because when Ben was saying like, because when he was a kid, he was reading the stuff about Derry and said that like when it comes to missing kids, they was like, there's what was it? It was like 3 times the national average was just in Derry.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said, do you think Eddie's mom might knew that and was trying to keep him in the house by saying that he was sick?
Nah, I think that's just the type of person she was. I mean, like, to me, I don't think that had anything to do with her knowing about that. I think that was Eddie's kind of like fear storyline. You know what I'm saying? Like that was his trauma storyline. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's a sheltered kid. He really don't get out the house much. He got to deal with his mom all the time. She's a single parent. So this is, you know what I'm saying? Her only focus is really him. And then like he an only kid. So, you know what I'm saying? Like she was just an overbearing, super protective mom that always, you know what I'm saying, always sheltered him. And so he wasn't really able to have the same childhood that everybody else had. You know what I mean? Like cause him and Richie would always go at it. You know what I'm saying? Because Richie was like a fucking loose cannon. It ain't no telling what the hell Richie parents was doing. But you know what I'm saying? With his mom was always hovering over him. And then when they was in the first one where they was, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth, that was something that Richie even said, like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like your mom is always fucking over you. Like you don't have to always, you know what I'm saying, check in with your mom. So it's just like, I think it was just it was a great contrast between two characters, two important characters at that, but also like it just goes to show you like that was his, you know what I'm saying? Like that was his problem.
Do you think they did a good job with? Because I felt like they did a great job with finding a way to give everybody their story, like basically everybody their time to shine. Like
Yeah, big
it
time.
wasn't like it's all about Bill and it's all about Beverly. It's like they
Right.
gave everybody an individual story. Like, do you think they did a good job with like splitting up that time and giving everybody basically their moment, whether they was the adult version or the kid version? Now, we gotta kind of omit Stanley as an adult because
He
he
killed himself.
took
Yeah.
himself
No, no,
out.
no. I
But
think they did a great job doing that because I mean, if you look at it, you know what I'm saying, and you know how I am when it comes to backstory on certain stuff. They didn't have to give you a lot. There was no need to give you a lot. It was just enough to be able for you to know what was going on without you having to, you know what I'm saying, get an origin story in a movie for it. Like we didn't need a whole bunch out of that. We just basically needed to figure out, you know what I'm saying, what was going on in their lives. And then, you know what I'm saying, we got the actual story. But even outside of that, they kind of interwoven some of that into the story itself. For instance, with Eddie's mom, you know what I'm saying, we understood why Eddie was the way he was because of, you know what I'm saying, we've seen the interactions with his mom. You know what I'm saying, when they gave you a little bit of the backstory, like with Mike, you know what I'm saying, we find out that both his parents died in the fire. You know what I'm saying? Or, you know what I'm saying, with Beverly, they went back into interweaving that into the story, you know what I'm saying, seeing how her dad was treating her when she went home. So I think that they did a great job getting everybody's, you know what I'm saying, problems and issues out there, but also not doing too much to where that's, you know what I'm saying, it's taking up too much in the movie.
okay, so last but not least, we have
Yeah,
not brought this person up, and we got to get him in, man. Henry Bowers, man.
yeah.
We gotta talk. We gotta talk about it, man. So Henry was the neighborhood bully. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Dad was a cop. Dad made him pee on himself by shooting at the ground.
Yeah.
But Henry was on a Henry was that was just a bad motherfucking kid. But like Henry, yo, he started slicing Ben's stomach. He's gonna write his name in his stomach, my guy. Like what
Yeah.
are you doing? And then what I didn't get, I'm thinking that the town was so small that high school and middle school and because there are some schools that
Oh,
are
that
1
was
through
that
12.
was yeah, I was about to say that's all one big ass school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, man, this dude is driving. That dude is driving. Like, how y'all all
Mm-hmm.
go to the same school? And I got to think it's small town because we got a school in this one place where it's 1 through 12. So
Yeah.
but what do you think about Henry, man? He was the one that ended up he Pennywise gave him um a different path. He actually took him over and had him kill his dad. Then he ended up going to the psych ward. And then when they showed us the adult version of him, you know what I'm saying? He's still rocking the mullet. Like, so what do you think about Henry, man?
I mean, you know what I'm saying, classic 80s bully. You know what I mean? I think that he was needed for the beginning of it only because, you know what I'm saying, they kind of gave you that nostalgic feel, you know what I'm saying, of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like for it to be like in the 80s or whatever, like we needed that bully. You know what I mean? We needed the group of bullies too. And so not only did, you know what I'm saying, you have those moments to where they was getting bullied, you also had those moments where they stood up to the bully. So now with them standing up to the bully, this is kind of forecasting how the movie's gonna go. Because we know that, you know what I'm saying, they're gonna go through some shit, but we also know that they're willing to fight back as well. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what that kind of foreshadowed with them showing that so early in the movie. And then you see at the end of you know what I'm saying, at the tail end of it all, you see that they all come together and, you know what I'm saying, get some courage and basically put Pennywise to shame.
Yo, Henry. So two things on Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, the fact that his friend Hostetler, dead as a damn doornail, is driving him around and that goddamn Pontiac.
Yeah,
Dead as hell. Driving him around in the Pontiac. He think there's no issue with that.
right.
So that's number one. And then number two, when that's why I said Eddie got the worst treatment, yo.
Mm-hmm.
Henry stabbed my guy in the face. And he had a whole knife in his face.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And he took it and stabbed him with it. But I thought that it was dope to have Henry go the different route to actually because now we see the different kind of powers and the different type of ideas that Pennywise. That's why I said, man, his time management and his goddamn and just the way, man. Listen, this dude Pennywise, man. Listen, he changed himself to everything. He was literally everything.
Mm-hmm.
And to think about like that realistically, like if, I mean, we all know this can't happen, but realistically, like if there's something when you think about all of the evil things, when I mean by evil things, the Michael Myers, the Jasons, the Pennywise, I mean, I guess you could throw Chucky in there. Even he's like he is Pennywise is Freddy Krueger
On
on
steroids.
steroids
Yeah.
in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, like
Mm-hmm.
Manny Ramirez, A-Rod. He is all of that, dude. Like Freddy don't even come near this dude.
Yeah.
Like it is just crazy. But I just wanted your opinions on Henry, man. We didn't speak on him, and I just thought that he had to be mentioned, man.
All right, man. So let's get it, man. Fire flames.
Yes, sir.
Yoga fire. Yoga flame.
So for anybody that's new here, once again, you know what I'm saying, this is our rating system. We go from a 1 to a 5, 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. This is how, you know what I'm saying, we let everybody know how we feel about each movie or television show we review per episode. So go ahead, man. What you got?
Okay, so we're doing this as a collective, right? As one movie,
Yeah.
like one continuous movie.
Yep.
5,
5?
man. I'm giving it a 5.
Okay.
Like the you know, I'm a sucker for continuing the story. They was able to continue the story. Like you said, there are some stuff that are unanswered, but like they're not so important to the point where it ruins the movie. Like we
Right.
really don't necessarily need to know if her dad died that day. Like
Right.
it's really not that important. We got the closure with Stanley. Stanley wrote, you know, basically a suicide letter and mailed it to everybody and explained why he didn't come.
Mm-hmm.
So I just felt like they really left every I dotted and T crossed, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I honestly I love this shit, man. I'm giving it a 5, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well, man. I'm glad that they didn't, you know what I'm saying, do that one stupid thing that everybody hates to where they leave room to hopefully come back for another movie and all that shit. I think that it was dope for them to have, you know what I'm saying, a chapter 1 and a chapter 2, keep it strictly at where it is. I think this is what makes these movies so good. I'm not gonna necessarily say 5 though. I'm gonna go 4.5. I think that, you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit more that they could have added to it. It's a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, a little bit of extra they could have added in there. But for the most part, like I said, the cast was good. Story was good. You know what I'm saying? They kept true to the older story as well, you know what I'm saying, to the original, to the novel. So, yeah, I'm going to go 4.5.
Okay. I ain't mad at it, man. Like listen, I made this comparison in the coming soon. I was like, for me, it's kind of like a Dark Knight Rises. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's just it's a really it's just a well put together thing.
Yeah.
I felt like they nailed that. They nailed this. I don't know, man. I would like it. What I mean by what I just said was, if it's on, I can just watch it. I don't
Yeah.
care where it is. Like it got me every time it come on, man. So
Right.
really glad to do this movie, man.
For sure. Coming soon?
Coming soon. Coming soon.
So this next one, man, is one of the ones I saw a long time ago. When I first seen it, it shocked me. I didn't know what I was watching, but I was like, oh yeah, this is it. Created and directed by Rob Zombie. This is one of the first joints he ever came out with. House of a Thousand Corpses, man. I'm excited about this one.
Man, listen, I'm gonna put it to you like this: you're gonna have to keep going because I never seen it.
Oh, well, listen, this will be your first time watching it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just leave it at that. Listen, this is one of the best horror movies that I've ever seen, only because Rob Zombie is so twisted. He comes from that heavy metal, you know what I'm saying, like grunge, you know what I'm saying, like background. So for him to be able to take that and create the movies that he creates, you know what I'm saying, a la Devil's Rejects, the Halloween that he, you know what I'm saying, directed and all that. I think this was his opportunity to kind of put his horror vision out there. And I think this was one of the best ways for him to do that. So Friday, you know what I'm saying? That's what we'll be doing. House of a Thousand Corpses. You know what I'm saying? You guys get ready for that. Can't wait to put that one together. And yeah, we'll see you guys then. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on all socials, IG and Twitter at View9Pod, on Facebook, VA Pod Watch Group. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Scoots Bronson. You can follow me on Instagram as well at ScootsBronson_TV. Also, check out my t-shirt line, ovop.storeenvy.com. I got all kind of graphic t-shirts there. I'm actually wearing one right now as we speak. So go get yours. Make sure you support. And that's all I got.
Yeah, man. Y'all can catch me at s.foster 8 on IG and Twitter, at 28 minutes or less on IG as well. All major platforms for the podcast. Go check it out. I got some new stuff on the way, so be on the lookout for the things that I got coming for that. Also, support the 4-3 podcast. New episode coming out Wednesday. You know, shout out to C, shout out to E Carter, shout out to JD Oracle. Hopefully, we had a whole cast this week. So
yeah,
you know, so we were just getting our topics in today. So
right,
yeah. So go check out that podcast as well.
for sure, man. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. See you guys on Friday. Can't wait for it. Until then, man, you already know. Like they say in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Cut.